Yo, what's going on, people? It's your boy, Stay Connected, people. Reacting to this clip, people. Exposing Iggy Azalea for hating men's self-improvement. We're gonna get into this one right about now. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, people.
Guy, and he was like,
Let's
I
go.
watch podcasts on how to be a man. I'd be like, weak. It's kind of a move to be like, I need life help. It's like, okay, that's not alpha in itself.
I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to say this again. And I really want you guys to internalize this, okay? Women do not understand or respect male self-improvement. They're incapable of understanding this concept. I'll tell you why. Everything that makes a woman valuable, she's born with. Everything that makes a man valuable is earned. You got to put time in to create value. Women are born with value. So when people like Iggy Azalea are saying the dumb that they say, like, why do you need help with this? Like, aren't you a natural alpha? This shows the lack of awareness, the high level of ineptitude, the stupidity of the modern. Iggy Azalea called me out, huh? Let's see here.
What does that mean? I don't know, guys. I think that the soy boys actually might be the red pillars.
They told me.
Here's my thing. Hear me out, though, before we get into this, because I need to focus on blackjack.
Okay.
If you were real. Alpha,
Yeah.
why would you need to even be thinking or getting advice on this subject? Like, a wolf is just out there hunting. He doesn't need all this advice about it. I don't know. It makes me think that secretly that is beta. Is it not? I don't know. I just know if I was a guy and he was like, I watch podcasts on how to be a man, I'd be like, weak. I don't know.
What? What? Like, self-improvement is a thing that every person needs, man and woman. How to be a better person, how to go about this situation correctly, working on yourself as a human being is a good thing personally. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you improving on yourself, regardless of what type of conversations you're having, depending on what it is, it creates better people. Obviously, we're speaking about this thing because this is the situation that she's talking about. She just don't like this in self-improvement.
You shouldn't need to get, like, I don't know. I'm not watching podcasts about how to be a woman.
They're
so
low-key. Damn, the chat's saying facts.
Yeah, but the fact is, most women reflect off their own mothers. If your mum's grown up this certain way, you're gonna have that certain trait by your mum. You're gonna act like your mum, and how your mum used to do things, how your mum used to teach you how to cook a certain meal. Like, you're gonna remember that when she's like, for when you was little, you used to eat this, you used to eat that, and she taught you how to bake a cake like this, bake a cake like that, how to make a dessert like that. So men and women, we're taught certain things that you have to be this way, you have to be that way. Sometimes it's just how you've been raised up.
Facts. Like, it's kind of a move to be like, I need life help. It's like, okay, that's not alpha in itself. You'd just be out there raw dogging life if you were really alpha. So I don't know. So I don't really. I actually have not watched any red pill things. I don't have a huge opinion, but I do think if it were that alpha, wouldn't you be just blazing your own path? Why do you need to buy a course on how to live your life? I don't know. Seems
Okay, I'm gonna play this again. Now, before I do this, let's go ahead and identify the individual. So here's this girl, right? Iggy Azalea. She is an Australian former rapper and songwriter. She was born June 7, 1990, so she's about to be 36 years old, right? Past her prime, old, right? In female years at least. She's 35 years old. I don't think she's relevant music-wise anymore. Chat, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think she's had a hit in a very long time, and I don't think that she's really in the spot.
Yeah, I haven't really had any music in a long time.
Like that making music anymore. Hence why she's gambling on Kick, right? And she's hanging out with Neon. So this is who she is. Born in Sydney, moved to the United States at the age of 16 to pursue a career in music. She earned a public recognition after releasing the music videos and 2 times back in 2011. So yeah, she's basically an Australian white girl rapper, right? So I noticed that she's been doing a lot of content with Neon. For those of you that don't know, Neon is a American Indian streamer that for a while dated a girl named Sam Frank, that used him. I warned him that she would use him, and he stayed with her, and she basically built her OnlyFans and her entire streaming career off of him. And yeah, so here he is talking with this girl, Iggy Azalea. Okay, so let's go ahead and go through this again, because there's some things here that I want you guys to really pay attention to. So let's play this back from the beginning. I even turned on the YouTube because a lot of you guys need to hear what I'm about to say here. So let's play this back. All right, rewind it. All right.
I don't know, guys. I think that the soy boys actually might be the red pillars.
They told me.
Here's my thing. Hear me out, though, before we get into this, because I need to focus on blackjack.
Okay.
If you were really alpha,
Yeah.
why would you need to even be thinking or getting advice on this subject? Like,
Damn, the chat.
not watch
It and actually go ahead and analyze all of the different things that she said. Okay? Let's play that again.
I don't know, guys. I think that the soy boys actually might be.
Okay, so I'll speak for myself.
I just had to move it up.
Number one, I have never once ever called myself an alpha, ever.
Yeah, that's weird. Don't ever call yourself an alpha.
And I find it interesting how people will say toxic alpha male, or they'll say purported alpha, blah, 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 when I've never actually called myself an alpha ever.
I think that's weird.
I think it's extremely cheesy, tacky, and that's number one. Never actually referred to myself as an alpha. Now, here's the thing though. If you come to that conclusion on your own, that's not my problem. Which inadvertently, that's basically what it is. If you come in and you say, oh, you're a fake alpha, well, I never called myself an alpha. So you must, to some degree, perceive me in that way. And then your response is to try to disqualify and say it's a fake alpha, even though I never purported myself to be that way. That's number one, right? So you cannot claim to be an alpha yourself. That is something that other people recognize and notice about you and identify you as based on your behavior. Any guy that sits there and calls himself an alpha is I'll be honest with you.
Real talk.
That's why I never say it. It's up to the person that is interacting with you to make that decision based on your behaviors. That's number one. So I've never called myself an alpha. Okay? Next, she goes into...
Like, a wolf is just out there hunting. He doesn't need all this advice about it. I don't know. It makes me think that secretly that is beta. Is it not?
Okay. So she's insulting the notion of a guy needing advice, help, instruction, and guidance in being an alpha. Okay? For me to properly explain this to you guys, we must go into the female psyche first and then bring it back. I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to say this again. And I really want you guys to internalize this shit. Okay? Women don't understand and don't respect male self-improvement. I'm going to say that again. Women do not understand or respect male self-improvement. And I don't want you guys to get mad at them for this.
You can't.
Okay?
You gotta realize.
They're incapable of understanding this concept. I'll tell you why. Everything that makes a woman valuable, she's born with. Everything that makes a man valuable is earned. I'm gonna say that again. Everything a woman is born with makes her valuable. Everything you have that's valuable must be earned through trial, tribulation, consistency, and most importantly, time. You gotta put time in to create value. Women are born with value. Okay? That's just how it is. Women are born, men are made. Once you understand this concept that men must create their value while women are born with value, now we can go ahead and address the issue here. The reason why someone like Iggy Azalea doesn't understand this concept is because she's never really had to work to be attractive. Okay? Women are able to secure a mate with little to no effort. Meanwhile, for a man to secure a mate, he has to put quite a bit of effort, okay? There's a famous phrase that I've been saying for years. Women don't build, they move in. Women don't build, they move in. And the reason why they have the privilege of moving in is because they have the value to move in as soon as they turn 18. Men, however, have to build the castle in which they will live. Now, I want to be clear about this. This is reflective of the entire animal kingdom. This is not just exclusive to humans, okay? Peacocks have to peacock. Their feathers need to be huge, colorful. Male lions need to protect the pride, right? This is a trend all across the animal kingdom that men have to put a significant amount of work to be able to have mating access. Okay? Since women don't have to put in work to have the privilege of mating, they do not understand the work that's required for said mating. Okay? So I don't want you guys to be mad at someone like Iggy
You can't be mad.
Azalea for saying something so stupid. She will never understand. And most women won't, my friends. I've said this analogy before, but I'm going to say it again, all right? Women just want to come to the pizza shop and enjoy the pizza. Do you understand? They want to come to the pizza shop and enjoy the pizza. They don't give a about the dough that you imported from Italy. They don't give a that the tomato sauce came from freshly squeezed tomatoes. They don't give a that you're using extremely clean water that got imported from Saudi Arabia to be utilized in the pizza dough. They don't care that you spent $10,000 on an oven to put the pizza into so that you get that particular crisp. They don't care that you put a certain type of cheese on it to give a certain flavor. They don't care about any of that. And not only do they not care about the pizza and how you made it and all the work you have to put in to make said pizza, they don't care about anything else on the menu list either. They don't care about the breadsticks. They don't care about the freshly squeezed orange juice. They don't care about the fact that you pay 3 times as much so that the Coca-Cola tastes better than at McDonald's. They don't know that you have one of the best pizza chefs in the country in the back that coached you on how to make the perfect slice. They don't care about none of that shit. Women just want to go to the pizza shop and eat the pizza. But they
Real talk. They don't know how it's been made, how it's been properly assembled, way it was cooked, way the temperature, you had to put the temperature.
don't understand all the trials and tribulations and suffering you had to do to build that pizza shop. In other words, all these are food testers, nigga. They're not in the back making the pizza. They just consume the pizza. So they'll never understand what it takes to eat the pizza and what makes it good. They don't know the difference between your pizza shop and Papa John's because they've never been in the back spinning the dough, importing this water from the Middle East, using a certain type of sauce, using a special oven that gets it to a certain crispiness that can't be replicated. They don't know nothing.
It's a good analogy, people. Good analogy. Good breakdown.
None of that. And they'll never understand any of that because these just consume the pizza that you make and they don't give a about how you made the pizza. They just want to go to the best pizza shop. That's it. That has the highest reviews, that has the 5-star ratings, that the celebrities eat at. That's what they want. Now, let me be clear about this. Are there some women that after going to your pizza shop for a while will say, you know what? I want to meet the chef. I want to meet the owner. This is fantastic. I'd like to help you with this. How do you do this? Maybe 1 out of 1,000 will give up to actually learn the process and want to help. But most don't. And quite frankly, they'll never understand. And they don't care because there's pizza shops all over the place. And to be honest with you, showing them how you made this amazing pizza might turn them off because they just want to enjoy the pizza without knowing how it's made, okay? This is a very ugly reality that you guys need to understand as a man. Women don't care about self-improvement. And if you tell them how you self-improved, you might actually lose attraction. They want you to just get it. They just want to go into the pizza shop, enjoy the pizza, and walk out. My friends, this is the female experience. They have no grasp or concept on the difficulty of being a man because they live life on easy mode. Do you get that? Now,
They expect you to just get it.
everybody else is too much of a to admit this because we live in a gynocentric social order where the female way of thinking is the right way of thinking, but women live life on easy mode. We just saw dumb Sophie Rain barely able to understand an analogy making $100 million a year, bro, or in 2 years. This girl was an idiot. She was on a big broadcast show and couldn't focus on any of the questions asked. Pierce had to come in and save her multiple times. This has a 50 IQ, but makes $50 million a year. Let that sink in. She makes $50 million a year, but she has a 50 IQ.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Tell me a woman's life isn't easy. Tell me it's not. You could be a bumbling, window-licking, mouth-breathing, idiotic as a female and make it through life. You will still find a rich man if you're cute enough. A rich man will change a broke woman's life forever. But a rich woman will never look a broke man's way ever. In other words, you got to build a pizza shop and have,
I hate to say it, but I agree with him. I definitely agree with him.
Raving reviews for people to even want to come and eat at it. These don't even know how to spin dough. They're just there to eat the pizza. That, my friends, is the relationship between men and women. So when people like Iggy Azalea, right, are saying the dumb shit that they say, like, why do you need help with this? Like, aren't you a natural alpha? This shows the lack of awareness, the high level of ineptitude, the stupidity of the modern woman. And again, I'm not going to blame her for her ignorance, but if anything, I really want you guys to see this because what she's saying embodies how...
Yeah, most women don't understand the male struggle, the male, how we are as males. We definitely have to learn them. You know what I mean?
Women view male self-improvement in general. If you have a girl, let's say you're a charming guy, you're an attractive guy, right? You got all kinds of riz. You invite a girl to your place. She sees a book that says, How to Get Women 101. I hate to say it, but she is going to lose a little bit of attraction for you. She is. Because again, Rolo says this all the time. Observing the process changes the process. They don't care to know how you became made. They just care that you are made. And quite frankly, it's better for her to not even know how you were made. Make the pizza. She doesn't got to be in the back seeing how you did it. Now, here's the difference between us and them. If you go to a woman's house and you see a cookbook, you see how to be a better girlfriend, how to retain a man, how to become a...
Yeah, you're not going to get instantly turned off.
...a wife. Most of us would probably be pretty impressed because most women are lazy and don't give a about actually getting a guy and retaining a guy and being a good long-term partner. Women want to get married, but they don't want to be wives. You see the difference? She goes to your house, how to get women. Ill, creep, loser. Why do you need to read a book on this? We go to a woman's house, how to be a wife, how to get a man, blah, blah, blah. We're going to say, damn, okay, she's actually trying. Men respect effort. Women don't. And the reason why women don't respect effort is because they've never had to actually put effort in to get a partner, whereas we do. And since most women don't give a about us, we notice if a female does something for us. An attractive woman over her lifetime will more than likely probably get flowers, gifts, praise, free dates, attention, free trips, whatever, for simply being a woman. A man in that same span might get maybe 2 or 3 gifts in his entire lifetime. Most men don't get their flowers until they're dead. You get that? I'm gonna say that again.
So true.
Most men don't get their flowers until they're dead on their funeral day. Meanwhile, these useless get flowers every February 14th for bringing nothing to the table. So since men rarely get praise, rarely get appreciation from the opposite gender, guess what happens when we get it? We actually know how to behave. We actually appreciate it because for a man to get a gift from a woman, for a man to get a flower from a woman or get anything for that, for all intents and purposes, not saying you want a flower or whatever, but to get anything from a female as a male is rare. So we appreciate it. And this is exactly, precisely why the man must always be the adored person in the relationship. As you guys know, Orion, right? We've had him on the show a couple of times. We talked about this in detail. Go watch that episode. It was great. But to summarize here, for the purposes of this monologue here, in a relationship, there's always going to be someone that cares more than the other in the relationship. In other words, there's always going to be a party chasing the other more. Mainstream society will tell you, happy wife, happy life. You need to make the girl happy. That shit. That's stupid and it's wrong. It's happy king, happy kingdom, because you built the kingdom. This is just living in it. And the reason why you need to be the one that's being adored is because we know how to behave when we get any type of appreciation. Women don't. From the time this goes through puberty, she's already having men giving her cards, giving her gifts, giving her presents, giving her praise for nothing more than the fact that she's a female. Well, guess what happens when you get praise without earning it? You become a rotten piece of shit. Many of you are probably...
Yeah, you become entitled or at all. Especially if you never lift a finger. And that ain't just men and women, but that's just human. Like, you being this, like, you being a self-millionaire and not earned, you earning having to save up so much money, rather than someone give you like $1 million or like loads of money just to start your career is different. You like having sweat, blood and tears, actually building your company from the ground up, rather than someone actually giving your money. It is a totally different situation. Was it a trust fund baby and all that lot?
Familiar with the game Pokemon? We're really going to go back on this one. If you guys remember playing the game Pokemon back in the day, red and blue version, there was a cheat code, the Missing Go cheat code.
Rare
and what
candy.
you'd be able to do is you'd be able to get a bunch of rare candies. A rare candy, for those who are not aware, is a candy that you can give to your Pokemon and it levels them up once. There was a cheat code that would allow you to get infinite rare candies and feed it to your Pokemon and get them all to level 100. Okay? Quickly explaining this for those that are not familiar with Pokemon. Now, interestingly enough, I did an experiment. I took a team of 6 Pokemon. One, I did the cheat code. I gave them all rare candies up to level 100. Then I took another set of Pokemon and I trained them. Fighting other Pokemon, going to Elite Four, beating the niggas a million times, competing against people with Game Boy Link, whatever. Right? Same exact Pokemon, same exact attacks, but here's the difference. The Pokemon with the rare candies were weaker than the Pokemon that actually trained. The Pokemon that I trained had higher attack, higher defense, higher speed, higher everything, versus the Pokemon that were also level 100, but I gave them rare candies, they were weaker in every measurable metric. So what does this mean? This is perfectly symbolic of the male and female experience. Men must work to get their praise. It is harder for us. It takes more time.
We live 2 different lives
But when it's said and done, we're a better
and 2 different experiences.
Pokemon. And on the other hand, get everything given to them, and this is why they suck at everything, and they're the weaker Pokemon. So this is precisely why men need to be the ones that are appreciated ones, because we have to work for everything that we get. Women don't. Are rare candy consumers with a cheat code. That's why they suck at everything. Meanwhile, we got to go fight the Elite Four for 20 years to get to level 100. But when we get to that level 100, we're on a different level. That is the difference, my friends. I know that was a very nerdy analogy, but I need you guys to understand that men and women are not the same. We do not go through the same obstacles. We do not deal with the same difficulties at all.
I agree with this. Definitely agree with this.